myself a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, bitch, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality, is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders. Now we ain't getting posterized, we out here making posters, and we ain't got nothing to hide.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome into Pregaming here at Sports Money. Monday to Friday, you know what we do, how we get after it. It's time to make that money. Got a big card on deck tonight. Got a little technological issue here. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay. If somebody can just say yes or put a 1 or we hear you or something to let me know I'm not just talking to myself. Very weird what's been going on with StreamYard today. But I'm ready to fire away. We got ourselves ground to make up from yesterday. Appreciate that, NJ Striker. Thank you very much. And I ran out of time. I ran out of time today, so look, those two college basketball games were not the spots last night. Disappointing. Washington and San Francisco. Late nights. What a waste. Got to sit up, watch the election, see a little college hoops, watched them absolutely blow it. But we nailed it. Split on that action last night. Both games were unders. We talked about the rain and the wind. Nailed it. What are you going to say? Central Michigan. Now, if you took the first half of Central Michigan, you lost the team total under because they scored that touchdown at the very end of that first half. And then Bowling Green separated and did what we expected Bowling Green to do. Cashed that teaser for us. And hockey wasn't so great. Columbus and Seattle struggle, bus, and then some. The Minnesota under, But we did split this Ottawa and over game, so man, it's still bouncy. Technology's lagging. It's telling me StreamYard's not working. But you guys all said it's good to go. So we're going to move forward. Shout out to Redbeard starting us off, gifted of Sports Money membership. Shout out to you, Redbeard. Let's go, my dude. Let's go. Let's get this thing moving in the right direction. Old E went 4-0 last night on first cap back from my bow hunting. The train is on the tracks, and he's gifting 5 Sports Money memberships. Shout out to you, Old E. Appreciate you, my brother. Man, shout out to you guys both. We got Redbeard and Old E coming in here, firing up the engine right off the gate. Appreciate you guys, man. I tell you what, we'll pop this top here, take a little swig on the good old number 7. Got some first strike to film tonight, but I honor you boys, man. Cheers. Appreciate you guys. All right. Woo! Let's get you moving in the right direction. And we got a big card to get into tonight. We've got a 5-leg parlay, a player prop parlay to get after. Nice payday on that guy. 3 hockey games, 2 looks, 2 plays, not just looks. And I haven't decided on that Vegas game yet, but we'll talk about the Nashville Predators, the Washington Capitals. We'll talk about Detroit Red Wings, the Chicago Blackhawks. I had to call it action. We got plays in both college football games tonight, and they start early, so 7 p.m. pop-off. We want to be ready to go. And I've got looks on both the games, so I was just trying to think of how it actually got played out. College hoops. I've got 2 college hoops plays for you guys tonight, and then we've got 4 wide in the NBA. So it's going to be a fun night, but this means we're going to have to keep a brisk pace because we got work to do. We got to get to the trends, the stats, the angles, all the adjustments. We got to recognize the plays that you guys are on. There's so much to do, and there's so little time to do it. So let's get to work. Now is that time of the show. If you haven't done so already, you guys know the deal. Being listener supported means we need the donos. We need the membership gifting like Redbeard and Old E stepping up right off the hop on the show. But we need you guys to take a second and hit that thumbs up button. Let YouTube know we're not here to mess around, you guys. We appreciate you taking the time. Close the comments. Hit that thumbs up button. Then pop back in, get them comments going, and let's start the show. See, it's weird on my end. I don't get any sound. I don't get any sound. I don't know why I'm not getting any sound. Let me look here. All right, I don't know. It's all right. I can hear me. My neighbors can hear me. I hope you can hear me. I just can't hear you hearing me. If that makes sense. So let's get to work, though. We got to get to go in here. If you guys haven't hit that thumbs up button, do so. Now's that time to get the pen and paper ready. You know the deal. The best in the business assemble here. Coming in to give their best bets, their favorite looks, to cook the books. And it all starts now. You're going to want to get that pen and paper handy. You're going to want to take down the notes. You're going to want to look at some of the look-ahead spots that we talk about. And, of course, share your best bets in the chat so we can commence the butt rubbing, as what was once said. And our guy, the number one commenter, 99.4% first comment ratio, Joe T. And his F your underplay of the day is on the community tab. But he's got a free play. He's got the Red Wings and the Blackhawks, and he's got the over 6. There you go. Make sure you migrate on over to that community tab. Do us a favor. Take a little blitz. We'll blitz this thing on the community tab. If you haven't hit the thumbs up on the posts that are out there, I don't care if they were a week ago or a month ago, fire down that line. Just click, 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 click. Keep hitting that thumbs up for us out there. That's so important. I say it all the time. It sounds like a broken record. You guys are probably sick of me saying it. But how about this? Joe T and I got together last night, did a little record recap. The primetime polls that have been put out there that you guys have been responding to, 14, 5, and 1 over the last 20 games. 14, 5, and 1. Primetime action. So when you see that post go out there in the community tab, check it out. It's running hot. The chat, the community is running hot. They're giving their best bet, their favorite look, the way they think those games are going to go down, and it's 14, 5, and 1. Can you believe that? Can you believe it? Joe and I were laughing about it last night. Saying, man, got gold in them hills. Who the hell knew? But here we go. Chicago, Detroit, over 6. Joe T's favorite free play, but not his best bet. The F your underplay is over on the community tab. Shout out to NJ Striker. There's Bo Jackson. Says, make America great again. Shout out to Trans Canada. Appreciate him coming in, breaking my balls. Lewis Eisenhower's here. Subhuman Gaucho fired off some soccer plays with the community tab today. Had a nice little day from my dude. Appreciate you guys, man. Let's go. Trans Canada's got San Fran minus 4.5 live and did good. Nice. Oh, yeah. Yeah, because that number bloated back up. We just couldn't get there. Bengals can upset the Ravens tomorrow night. I think they can. I think they're very much a live dog. Justin McCalvey says sports money is money. Let's go. The Futon Bets likes NIU money line. What's up, Futon Bets? Appreciate you coming in, sharing the goods. And JPZ, big spread pick today is Georgia Tech minus 23 versus West Georgia. West Georgia just lost by 35 to Mississippi State. They left a little... Good stuff. Good stuff. Good share. Appreciate you, JPZ. Let's go. Swerve the Snow Cone Man. What's up, my dude? I'm doing well. Thank you. I hope you are doing well as well. Shout out to Joe W's in the house here. Chris Sala. Dan Kelly. I'm curious. Dan Kelly, I'm curious. Went back 8 years in his database to see how teams did the night after Trump won. What'd you find out? Let me guess. LeBron lost. Let me guess. I'm just guessing. 8 years. That's awesome. Hopefully we have some actionable intelligence out there. Oldie says, I hit these home dogs every way last night in the MAC. Spread on the home dog, straight up. Spread on the home dog parlay. Spread on the home dog teaser. Maction ran it up. Shout out to Keats in there, rocking the Knicks -7. There's my buddy Big Show. What's up, Big Show? What's up, dickhead? What's up, Big Show? It's good to see you, my friend. I hope you're doing well. Hopefully your soccer season is underway and profitable. Appreciate you rocking in here, Big Show. Truth Tellers here, ready to roll. Keith, thanks. Thanks, you guys. Let's go. What do we got? What do we got? Swerve Snowcoman says, thanks, Mike. Doing good. Putting on a good ticket on Western Michigan tonight. Love this place since last week. A little green eggs and ham. Pick of the night. Action in the Maction. Be well. Thank you, my dude. Thank you. Well, let's get to work. Let's get on this thing. Let's get moving. Man, there's a lot of plays. Lot of plays to get involved with here. Let's pop this one off. Let's talk about this parlay. It's 35-1, almost 35.5-1. And a sneaky little configuration here. We're riding the hot hand with Carlson right now. His point fest, his point production, and an offensive versus defensive battle that we will talk about is a place that I want to have my money tonight. Certainly top line billing, top power play billing, all the things that we're looking for in a game where I don't know if we see a ton of points. But I expect Washington to bust them up. I want to be on Carlson, the point game for Carlson. So that's 1+ point for Carlson. Jack Eichel. We're taking his under 3.5 points. Why? Well, here's a little something. There's a little something for all them Vegas backers that just blindly fire on the overs. I get it. You're crazy not to, right? What is it, 6-1 at home or 7-1 at home or something nuts like that? But what you got in the Las Vegas Golden Knights, how about this? Now that we're at that 10-way point of the season, we're starting to get some data. The 5th lowest shots per game in 5-on-5 situations in the NHL. They're not shooting the puck. Now, they've been fortunate to score a lot of goals. But you don't shoot, you can't score. Keep that in mind as we progress through this next 10-game block to get to the quarterway of the NHL season. But Jack Eichel, we're going to take his under 3.5 shots on goal with a team that's not shooting. Jack Eichel's only gone over 3.5 shots on goal 4 of 12 times this season. Don't hate the messenger. Just the messenger coming in here to tell you guys. It's real simple in hockey. You shoot the puck on net. If you do it well, you score. And if you score more than your opponent, you win. Problem for Vegas and their scoring abilities moving forward, I think. And they're not playing well on the road. They're not a good road team. So we'll see what happens. I added Sabonis. Now, you can play the Sabonis, but be smart about this, right? The Sabonis triple-double, you can get that one on a standalone, and that's sitting at like plus 375. So that really beefed this parlay up. And he loves playing against the Toronto Raptors. Triple-double in his last 3 games against the Toronto Raptors. Why not take that swing? That beefed things up, as I mentioned. I got Mobley. Mobley's got 20 or more points in 6 of his last 7 road games against the Western Conference. And I teased that thing down. Well, I didn't really tease it down, but did take it down to 15 plus. And Paul's in the same spot. Just another matchup situation. His total, I believe, was 22.5. So we got him at 20 plus. And that's going to cross 2 sports for us. Oh, excuse me. 35-1. I don't know what's going on with technology last night. Keith and I were messing around with some stuff, and I think I screwed something up, Keith. I think that's what happened. think that's what happened. Anyways, there's a parlay for you guys. Carlson, 1+ point. Jack Eichel, under 3.5 shots on goal, with a strong notation that Vegas might have some scoring droughts coming up. The bonus triple-double. Powell, 20+ points. Mobley, 15+ points. Sprinkle. Let's get this thing started in the right direction. Let's move on. Let's talk about some NHL. Gots to pick the pace up already. Who the hell knows what happens when we get rolling on these things? But I know that when I was looking at this game, a couple things jumped off the page for me. And I don't want to overcomplicate it. Look. Pull up the goalie numbers here. Where are the goalie numbers? Everything's all disheveled. Like I did last night with this. Logan Thompson will be starting for the Washington Capitals. UC Saros will be going in for the Nashville Predators. 3-6-1 is Saros' record on the year. He's got a 2.83 goals against average, a 90.2% save percentage. Logan Thompson. It's amazing. It's 5-0. It's 5-0. He's got a 2.96 goals against average. He's got an 89.4% save percentage. It's just that right now the Capitals are scoring 4.2 goals per game. Doesn't matter how he plays. And when you look at the flip side, we talked about this Nashville Predators team the other day. Where are they struggling right now? They're struggling to get some continuity. Now, Nashville, what do we know about this Predators team? Well, they're coming off a shutout last game. So, I'm giggling. I'm giggling because I'm thinking about some of those auto spots that we talked about here. And I don't know. I can't get down with that. But what I can get down with is this Capitals team. And I'll tell you, it's a real simple game. You got a team that's playing well. They're finding a way to stop the puck. And then they're outscoring their opponents. Pretty straightforward. And you got this Nashville team that just can't figure their shit out. They're 1-3 in their last 4 games. They're beginning a road trip. They just had a 3-game home stance. I always like to fade a team in those spots. That's a system spot right there. After 3 straight positions of same site, in this case, it would be home. What does that team do when they roll out there on the road? Well, more often than not, the start of a roadie, struggle to get things moving in the right direction. Look, I'm all for Ovechkin. Let's see if this guy can go out there and set the scoring mark out there. 7 goals on the season. Top power play line. One of the top shooters on the team as well at 36 shots on goal. Team's playing well. What are you going to say? Philip Forsberg, Ryan O'Reilly. We look down the list up there. Obviously, we're having some issues with Steve Stamkos. Where the hell has he been? Get the milk carton out. And where has the whole team been? Their last 4 games, they've only scored 8 goals. Pretty simple. 4.2 goals a game is top 5 in the NHL for the Capitals. You're coming into a scoring drought for this Nashville team that doesn't have all their pieces right. By the time they get to Christmas, will they be probably rolling? Yeah. And then everyone's going to be talking about them being a playoff team and how great they look and how slow they started. But for right now, price play, value play, whatever you want to call it, give me this team in the Washington Capitals that I do believe is going to come down off of that crown there that they've set themselves on at 8-3, but they play tremendous at home as well. Let's not overcomplicate this one. Let's make this cash. Let's open the card up right there, and let's move on to game number 2. Numero dos is the way that we're going to attack this game. Side or total? Well, let's look at the goaltending picture to start this thing off here. It's Cam Talbot. Remember, we talked about this. Billy Husso. They had the 3-man rotation. It was Talbot, it was Leon, and it was Husso. Talbot spent last year fucking off, hurt. And then Husso got hurt. And then they got down to, they only had Leon, and they couldn't do anything else. But they're happy with the health and what they're seeing from the Leon-Talbot combination. And why wouldn't they be? 3-1-1 is the Detroit Red Wings. 3.39 goals against average is a little soft, but he's got a 92.3% save percentage. They're just getting shot on a lot. And Talbot comes up big for us on Saturday. Big win against the Sabres, 2-1. They're going to give them a second chance to run it back. They're pulling the old hot hand treatment out there. 6 games on the season, though. That 92.3% save percentage doesn't look so bad. 3 consecutive quality performances, 93.4% save percentage, and a 2-0-1 record. That is the hot hand. On the other side of things, you got the Blackhawks with Peter Mrazek. He's 4-6. He's got a 3.36 goals against average. He's got a 90% save percentage out there. And, you know, end of the day for this one, I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to think about goals. I know we saw Joe T's F your under play here, one of his spots being this team in this game going over the 6, but I see the 6.5s out there, and I got to jump in on this under. For me, it's a couple things. One, we just talked about the effectiveness that we're seeing, the quality performances, the quality starts that we're seeing from the goaltending in Cam Talbot. We see that the Red Wings are letting a lot of shots up, but they're not shooting the puck that much. The flip side, you look at this overall, only 29 goals being scored. That's the second lowest in the NHL for the Red Wings. And then on the Chicago Blackhawks side of things, there's not enough there. There's just not enough meat on the bone for me to want to get involved with those guys. And that's pretty straightforward. Now, I can tell you this. It's a double dipper opportunity because I am going to take Detroit as well. We got some pretty straightforward. One of the sharpest bets has been coming in on this Chicago Blackhawks. Highly touted action coming in there in Vegas. But Chicago, unique position. It's the fade the Blackhawks spot. Short home dogs off a win. You're 19-3 if you fade their asses. I like a lower scoring game. I like the spot with the excuse me. Just had a did I just stroke out? I like the Detroit Red Wings at -110. I know the scoring droughts that I just mentioned, but I think they got the hotter hand in the goaltender. And I like this under 6.5, but it's 2 separate plays. We're not going to get cooked on it like we did yesterday with that Minnesota and under. We want to separate these two. And again, you're getting that short opportunity in that fade Chicago spot at home, off a win. And I don't know how many of those we'll see this season. So give me Detroit. Give me the under 6.5. It's a little juicy at -120, but look, if all my plays were safe, there just wouldn't be any juice. Juice. What do you guys think about that? Curious what you guys' opinions are in the chat. Let's see what we got. See, my guy Lee Mathis is here rocking with us. Silent Rob's rolling. Voodoo Ranger likes Pavel. 3+ shots. Irish King. He might score, but he ain't shooting. He ain't shooting 4. He might score, but he ain't shooting 4. How about that? That's what I think. DJ Hardy, let's talk about some college football. Let's use that as our little lead in here to talk about the action. And what do we have again, boys and girls? We have elements. We have double-digit wins. We talked about that yesterday. How about that score yesterday, by the way? What was the number that I tossed out on the show? I know it was pretty fucking low. And I said something like, wouldn't be surprised if the final score was like 13-3. And I said, no, I wouldn't be surprised. Now, it wasn't 13-3, but still 23-13. Low scoring. Central Michigan. It's exactly what we expected out of Central Michigan. Can't thread the needle. They're terrible. Now, speaking of terrible, we got some battles of bullshit going on right now. Ohio and Kent State. Ohio opening up as a huge road favorite in the MAC. 17.5 has swelled to 20.5. 69% of the bets, 72% of the cash are on Ohio. Total's not moving. It's oscillating, but it's not really moving. 71% of the bets are on the over. 86% of the cash is on the over. And yet it's not moving. I don't know if this game has the wind and the elements. I think it's the next game that's going to be out there. But they're still looking at 50% precipitation, 10-mile-an-hour winds in the forecast. And look, what are you going to say? Kent State is 0-8 on the season. They're bad. They're almost dead last in quality drives across college football. It's a bad football team. I mean, there's some of these metrics, like yesterday we talked about teams that kind of lack some explosiveness and opportunity to get the ball downfield. We'll talk a little bit about that with the next game. But when you got some metrics that jump out as being the worst at anything in college football, you got to take note. You absolutely got to take note. And I took note of these two teams here. Look, I didn't put the banners up here, so bear with me as I type these. I told you I was having some technology issues today. And we're going to get through it. As long as you guys can see the action, it'll be go time for us. And bear with me. Bear with me. Bear with me. Part of the reason I listed this off this way is because we got a teaser. We got a little teaser action. And, I'm looking at taking advantage of this Ohio team in the first half. I'll tell you this in shit. I should have. Get this on the screen. Sorry, you guys. There you go. All right. So my teaser crosses over two spots. I want Ohio in the first half of this game. I think they're going to kick the shit out of this team, but I'm concerned that they're going to go up so many points that they start putting backups in. Ohio's trying to battle. They're trying to show that they deserve a position for the MAC championship. 5-3 on the season. I think they start this thing. I don't know that. I mean, they're going to go gate the wire. Who the fuck's going to come out there for Kent State? Again, they're terrible. They lack efficiency, effectiveness, and things aren't any better on the defense. But the biggest spot that I looked at with this game, simple formula. Ohio Bobcats rushing for 200 yards a game this season. Kent State, the worst rush defense in the country, 265 yards a game. Kent State's the third worst rushing team in the country, 77 yards a game. And Ohio State's not too bad at the rush defense. I just took the first half, though, because, again, I'm concerned that back door opens up when they put... I don't know who's going to do it on Kent State. I mean, we've seen some crazier shit happen out there, but Kent State should get out rushed. They should get out passed. It's just boys versus men in this matchup here. And that's that simple. When you've got teams out there in positions where they run the ball against a team that's just not good at it, it's going to get ugly. It's going to get ugly early. And that first half attack, I thought was good money. But moreover, I want to tease this game down to 14.5, just in the event that 20.5 points is a lot of points to lay on the road. It's kind of what it comes down to, right? I'll take that touchdown out of there to 14.5. And then I flipped it to the other game, the other matching game, to the over. Again, that's where I did think there were some more elements in play. And so I'll kind of hybrid between these two here because the Western Michigan spot opened as a -1.5. It's now +2, 2.5 for Western Michigan. You got all the money coming in on Northern Illinois. Oops, you know what? There we go. Got all this money coming in on Northern Illinois. It's moved from a dog to a favorite. Crossing over 0, turning dogs into favorites always scares me. You got good steady cash coming in on that money line as well. Why not just take the -120? Fuck those 2 points. They're not going to matter. 52.5 with all the money coming in on the over is starting to see the undertake. Down a full point. 78% of the bets and 79% of the cash are on the over. It's Maction. And over bettors took it in the MAC hole last night because those games were unders. I expected sloppy situations with offense. Now, Western Michigan, is it an injury that's related to this game? Is that what's going on? Let me look down at the injury setup here. I don't even see it. And I don't know what I'm seeing. It's like we talked about yesterday with how the hell is Central Michigan going to score 16 points? Don't see it. Western Michigan is 4-0 and sits atop of the league in the MAC. They're very much led by a strong quarterback, maybe the best quarterback in the MAC, in Hayden Wolf. Should be an opportunity for him to go feast. you look at Western Michigan overall, big spot in the schedule for them. This is going to be their test here. If they can get through these next 2 games, and I think they're ratcheted up and focused and ready to go, they should be able to go crush it. Now, we talked about how bad we had the mismatch last game for Kent State. The advantage on this side here is how strong this Western Michigan Broncos team plays. Offensively, they're 35th in the nation in expected rushing yards per game, 51st in rushing success rate out there. They're ground pounders. Their quarterback, though, 15-3 touchdown to interception ratio. And you're going out against an NIU team that ranks 113th in passing yards allowed, 116th in defensive passing down explosiveness. That means the top gets popped in NIU. Hate to say it. Their offense looks like it's in quicksand right now. They can't get their heads and their asses wired up at the same time, and they're struggling. And then what happens is they need big plays, and they just don't have the big play capabilities out there. Look, we can talk about the points. I mean, pretty straightforward. If you're a conference home dog and the team you're playing scores more points than you, you lose. You're 853 to 904 over almost 1,800 game sample in college football. But the under, 639 to 722 in favor of the under as well. Bad teams can't put points on the board. A bad offense that's broken right now. But Maction, favorites off a spread loss are 1-21. If they won by more than 5 points against the spread the previous game out there as well. And that's where we're going to jump in for this game. We're going to take Western Michigan. We're going to take the plus 2.5. We'll take those 2.5 points in our back pocket. I don't expect them to be needed, but if they're there, I'm not going to give them away. I'm not going to turn them down. I think this is an NIU team that's going to get its fucking barn doors blown off, and it's going to be ugly early. All respect to some of you guys that are involved on, all respect to some of you guys on the NIU side of things, but I don't see how that's going to take place in this game here. Would I be surprised? I would, but again, I just think that you've got a team that just offensively has their shit together versus a team that offensively and defense. These are 2 bad Maction games to start off Maction. Maybe it's because they want to try to get points out there. I see Wine Times in the house. He likes the under. Yeah, that's why I teased it. So I got this one up to almost 60 points for that teaser, right? So if you guys go back to that teaser combo out there, I want Western Michigan. But again, I think Ohio beats the brakes off them boys. And I think they do it wire to wire. But I don't want that back door to open up. So that's where the teaser came into play for that first game. To the under with this game, because I don't see how NIU is going to put points on the board at all. And then I want Western Michigan to win as an outright dog in this spot. But I'll take the 2.5 points because they're in my back pocket. Shout out to OB! He gifted 5 more sports money memberships. Shout out to you, my dude. Respect, brother. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Damn. Let's go. My God. Grinding with us, baby. Appreciate you, OB. My dude. Fucking dude. That's what I'm talking about right there. Let's go. That gets you fired up. All right. Speaking of going. Let's go. Let's talk about. Fuck. I'll leave my guy's message up there. College hoops. Just early in the season, so we don't have a ton of information to break down, but I've got 2 trends for you guys, 2 plays that I'm going to get involved with here based on those trends that, kind of carry over specifically the first game of the season. You only get the first game of the season trend once. And we want to take advantage, especially when it's sitting in a 25-1 straight up position. It's sitting in an 18-8 against the spread position out there. 26 game sample. It's 18-8. There's 4 teams in play tonight, by the way. 4 teams in play for this sample. Actually, I have 3 games. Just realized I have 3 games. The 4 games that are in this trend right now, UConn, Auburn, Indiana, and Creighton. When the line's over 15 points, it's the first game of the season, and the team ranks within the top 20. Play on. UConn, Auburn, Indiana, and Creighton tonight. Now, I looked at all four of those spots. I'm going to have some action in that Auburn game, but it's going to be on the total, not the side. I'm just not enamored with the preseason write-ups that I've heard about Auburn. But the spot to look at here with UConn to open this thing up here is a minus 33.5, up to 35.5, and even 36s, and I still don't think it's enough points. 69% of the bet, 60% of the cash. The total open at 149.5. It's not moving. We got 95% of the bets on the over, 95% of the cash on the over. It ain't budging. And that tells me everything you need to know about this game. This is one of those breaks beaten off situations. Seems like the Cards all find a way to get some theme behind them. And today's theme is beat the brakes off them boys. And that's exactly what I think we're going to see UConn do. Man, everything's... My banners, I'm out of room for my banners. I'm out of storage on, man, who's driving this ship? Huh? Who's driving this fucking ship? 35.5, I'm going to lay the number. I don't think it's too many points out there. Of all four of those games, this is the one I like the most out there. I just think this is an absolute straight up mismatch here. Sacred Heart does come in with the game advantage. We've talked about that before. The teams that have the game advantage don't seem to have an advantage overall. It's just simply big favorites early in the season before they can get the right line on it. It paid us dividends on Monday. It screwed us on Tuesday. We're going to run it back in play here today with UConn minus 35.5. I told you I got two more spots. Big spot that I was looking at for this one. I looked to Virginia. I got a little Virginia Campbell action in my life, and I like it. I'm excited about it. Virginia opens up at 17.5. Huge buying. 90% of the cash has come in on Campbell. The Campbell Camels. I don't know who named that team. But then you look at the total, it's gotten from 134 down to 131, starting to see 130.5. So you've got reverse line movement. 91% of the bets and 89% of the cash. And what did we see them fighting camels do? Well, they came out and won. Started off the season against Monmouth. I'm sorry. No. That's last year's number. But they did get a win. They did find a way to get a W on their season at 1-0. And this one, to me, just came down. This is a system play, trend system, whatever you want to call it. Where did it go? Where did it go? Told you guys, technological challenges all day today. But we're fighting through. We're going to fight through them, and we're going to take advantage because I think this is a terrific underspot for this Virginia spot, this Virginia team that loves to go low-scoring games anyways right now. Virginia at home on the under is a huge opportunity. Changing sight lines, gets that team on the other side offensively uncomfortable, and they're one of the best teams in the NCAA to go to the unders, especially at home. We're looking at a 47-15 run of unders at home. And that's why we're taking Virginia. We're taking the under 131 against this Campbell spot. Hopefully, we'll get some data here in the next couple of days that can help us analyze these teams a little bit more. But first game of the season, I expect probably things will be a little tight as well for Virginia. Do I think Campbell goes out there and wins the game? Or competes and covers the spread? Maybe. Maybe. It's a lot of points. It's going to be slow, grind them out. If you guys forgot how Virginia plays basketball, if you like defense and long-winded possessions, this is going to be a game for you. And that's going to be the challenge, I think, for a spot for Campbell to hang in there with. They just don't have the offensive explosiveness, but they play at a slow pace as well. So this has just got, give me the Virginia under with two teams that play a ridiculously, horribly, disgusting, slow pace. But it doesn't matter how fast they play. It matters how much cash we make from it. And I think that's a great spot for us to. I'm laughing because I know this should be 123.5. That was the number that I capped it at early in the day. And for some reason, they got a 131 on it, which jumped off to me right off the bat, right off this morning. and saying this is a spot that's just, this has got our number written all over it. So we're going to take it. We're going to run with it. We're going to pop this Virginia under with an exceptionally slow-paced team in Campbell and a ridiculously slow-paced team in Virginia. All they're going to have to do is miss a couple of free throws, and you might see like an 18-6 first half. Literally, a couple of missed shots, and that's what we're on pace for this game. So I love this under. I think it goes under by at least 8 points against the total here, and just the fact that it's at 131 is just too good to be true. And then the last game I got for you guys in college hoops, we're going to go Vermont and Auburn. We're looking at this Vermont-Auburn team here with a lot of love coming in for Auburn. We just talked about it. Teams that are in ranked spots with more than 15 points being laid are in a tremendous opportunity, but I like Vermont. I like a little catamount. I still don't know what it is, but I like it. And I went from 14.5 to 17 now. So you have 88% of the bets and 92% of the cash. The first game of the season, teams that are lined as more than 15-point favorites. We just talked about it, 25-1 straight up. So does Vermont come out there and win this thing as a dog outright? No. I don't think so. But what I do think when we look at this total is that there's some information to be derived here. A total that started at 143 that's got 93% of the bets and 93% of the cash on the over has not budged. Tips my hand as soon as I say that. We just talked about the Virginia unders. How about the Auburn unders? Home favorites in November when Auburn is out there against a non-conference team. There ain't no straight up. They are only 3-5 against the spread, but they are rocking a 2-6 to the under, and the margin of the under is almost 15 points in those spots overall. That was a meaty margin. The number kind of suggests that both these teams are going to go out there and play, but I think this is the proverbial rock fight. I think this is too many points. And again, Auburn at home, Virginia at home, spots that we want to jump in and get advantage of these unders. We can catch a 143. Boring unders. Shut up. Dana Delp's in the house is at the Indiana game, minus 26.5. Let's go. Shout out to you, Dana Delp, man. Have a great time out there, my friend. You deserve it. I hope you have fun. I hope you catch a win. If you're looking to catch a win, let's see. If you're looking to catch a win, I may know a guy that put a little action in on that Indiana game as well. And points. Points in a fast-paced, rigorous environment over a 150, my guy. I don't know. See what happens with that one. Patrick's in the house. Nixon 80 plus, Western Michigan plus 7.5, and under 60s plus 220. Love that look there. Western Mich minus 6.5. I think so. Wrong team's favored. They should be out there firing up by a touchdown. Tarek B is on the treadmill listening. Let's go, my dude. Let's go. Skunt Blaster coming in with the Skunt Bag play of the day. Says Western Illinois money line at plus 200. Must have gotten that one. I don't know when he got that one. That's a great one. Shit. What's the line at now for the money line? Am I leaving it on the table? Oh, I see plus 115. Oh, Western Illinois. I'm sorry. Screwed up. Western Michigan, Western Illinois. They're fucking right next to each other. Skunt Blaster. Shout out to you, my dude. Likes that Western Illinois spot. Nunya says it still won't let me buy or accept donated memberships here. I don't know. I know Oldie's not having any problem finding the gifted membership button, my dude. Shout out to you, Oldie. Appreciate you, brother. Shout out to Redbeard as well. Thank you guys so much for that. Getting us rolling. I don't know what to say, man. It's comments right to the right of the comments. There should be a little money sign. Might be an issue with YouTube, unless you can do it on other streams. But I appreciate the thought anyways. It's the thought that counts. And let's count these 4 basketball games in the NBA. I'm excited to see that we've got some action back in play here. Let's pop off game number 1. Let's talk about Detroit and Charlotte. Let's toss out ball number 1. You guys ever remember that at the carnival? I got it. Wasn't that the game? I used to fucking rock it. I got it with those rubber balls tossed in there, and then they. Okay, toss in ball number 2. All right, game number 1 that we're going to look at for our betting privileges tonight. What's going on? Man, everything's out of whack here. Everything is out of whack. Detroit and Charlotte. The Detroit Pistons. The Charlotte Hornets. What the fuck? If I didn't know better, I'd say somebody came in here and just messed up all my shit and left. Because everything is just a little out of sorts here. The Pistons open up as plus 1.5 spots out there, but beware. They're now moving down to 1 and pick'ems out there. 66% of the bets and 61% of the cash are on the Pistons. The total is kind of creeping a little. It's gone from 221.5 as high as 223.5. And you got 84% of the bets and 84% of the cash on the over. Now, I looked at this game, and I thought, these are 2 shit teams. The Hornets at 2-5, the Pistons at 3-5. But I think the biggest issue that's being, that Charlotte's got to face right now, LaMelo Ball's probable. Not sure if he's going to get in there or not, but I mean, these are just 2, what are you going to say, right? These are just 2 bad teams. And, statistically, I don't know if it's going to get any better. I don't expect much to change for this Pistons team, but I do like the guys that they have. I do like the combination. Duran, obviously his ability to go out there and rebound. He's averaging 10.5 rebounds a game. You got Cade Cunningham out there. He's been firing. He's been bombing everybody, 23.3 points a game. And those guys should be the class of the floor tonight. And that's kind of how I expect this thing to go down. For me, when I was looking at this one, look, it's a fade spot of the Hornets. Remember this one for the Hornets. If they're coming off of being a dog of 4.5 or more points, which they're the Hornets, they're bad. They should be in this position a lot. These are some of those write them down situations. It's the threes. If they're within +3 or -3 of a pick'em, they're at home and they're off a game of being a dog of 4.5 points or more. They're 0-10 against the spread. They don't win at home. There's no home advantage for them. They're not covering the spread. That to me means Detroit Pistons are a live dog. I'm doing it. I'm firing. Give me the 1.5s. Get them now. They're -109s too, so it's not even like it's an egregious for that 1.5. The money line, if you're thinking about getting out there and just saying, hey, fuck them, let's get the win. I mean, it's +102. So, you're laying 10 cents basically to catch a 1.5. And if the average half a point's worth a nickel, you catch a nickel advantage by having the Detroit Pistons at +1.5. Not the money line in this case. The +1.5. Does it matter? Should it matter? No. 1.5 should be a team that's just going to win outright. But you got to play the nickel game. Every half a point costs a nickel. And if you're catching a +102, or you get the 1.5 and it's -109, it's 11 cents for that 1.5. It should cost you 15 cents for that 1.5. Obviously, there's some factors like the zeros and things like that that kind of equate into this thing. But at the end of the day, I'm going to take the Pistons. I'm going to open up with the Pistons. And I'm going to hope I don't get pissed on. And then he says, save you a nickel, save you a dime. Yeah, I get it. I mean, I told you guys before, if I was at the casino putting my money into the machine, if I didn't have a credit-based account, then yeah, I guess I might be a little more apt to consider that. But it's not like we're talking about 145s, 150s. We're flirting around the -110 range and trying to show where at least for my mind, like there's no value in taking a bad team, right? Some people will say, well, it's a value play. They shouldn't be a -300. I get it, but a loss is a loss. This is just a way to kind of calculate, at least for my numbers, how I make the determination between, which side it is that I want to jump in on. That's all. And, we'll see if there's they win outright. Is there a right or wrong answer? Yeah, they're right. I'd be wrong. And I don't expect it to be the case. I don't expect it to be. I think they win this game outright. But let's go. Let's move onward. Let's go upward. Let's talk about this Orlando Magic team, right? Oh my God, there's no Banchero. What are we going to do? What's this team going to, how are they going to compete? How are they going to contend? We got the Pacers. Now, the best thing about the Pacers and what they've got going on, they started running with pace. They're starting to get some totals going. We talked about that early in the first week of the season. They were under team. We capitalized on a couple of those unders. This line's opened up, and we've got reverse line movement. It opened at -6. It's down to 5.5s and 5s. Yet we have 76% of the bets and 78% of the cash. Now, remember I talked about that Bucks game the other day, right? Said if Giannis is in, I would fade the Bucks. If Giannis is out and they move it a couple extra points, well, then I would take the Bucks. It just so happened that the Bucks were able to backdoor cover that thing. My point is the injuries are factored into these lines. So when you see a 6 or now a 5.5 for the Orlando Magic, they know Banchero's not playing. Then I got a total that's going on the rise. How about that? 220.5 is now 227s. 90% of the cash, 90% of the bets on the over. And we got two shit teams, 3 and 5 Orlando Magic, 3 and 4 Indiana Pacers. I told you, the one thing I thought was kind of surprising is we're starting to see the Pacers pick up some pace again. And now they've clipped the over 5 straight games. The Magic, back-to-back unders, 3 unders in their last 4. I like the over in this game. I do. First pass, I was like, man, am I going to get in on this over? But I'm taking the points. I'm taking the Magic. I got the 5.5. This is a fade of the Pacers. After scoring, this is why I mentioned that they picked up pace again, right? The Pacers picking up pace. After scoring more than 130 points against a team that's got at least a day's rest, both teams having taken action 2 nights ago, Monday, the Pacers are 0-8 against the spread. Pacers with pace. Overcalculation, overcompensation for Banchero. Now, Franz Wagner, obviously, probable. So hopefully he gets his ass in there and gets rolling out there. Miles Turner, Wiseman, Nembhard, all still out for the Pacers. Now, Andrew Nembhard is probable. He is on the list of probability here, but I think everyone's going to automatically look at this Pacers team and think, well, there's no Banchero. This Magic team's not going to be able to compete. And that's what Vegas wants you to think. That's what the bookmakers want you to think here. Actually, I picked the first half in this game. I'm sorry. I lied. I lied. I'm on the start for this game. You know what? I'm going to add the full game, though. Shit. Bear with me. Bear with me for just a moment. Here's what I don't want to do. I don't want to miss the opportunity to take that full game right now. Tick, tick, tick. Tick, 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 tick. Speaking of ticking, big Thursday night football stream. The Cincinnati Bengals, the Baltimore Ravens will be rocking live with our man Razor Sharp Picks and the Sports Money team. Popping off, doing what we do on Thursdays to have some fun, kick some ass, take some names. And hopefully you guys will be there. I'll be there. Jack Daniels will be there. Uncle Jackie will be there ready to fire. And sorry, guys. The byproduct of realizing left some action on the table. And we don't want to do that. We don't want to do that. We want to capitalize on all of our action. Just like that. Just like that, we're back in play. And just like that, I got a 5.5. Cool. That looks a little more appropriate. Let's talk about the Sixers and Clippers. Holy shit. My world almost imploded when I saw this game. On one side, on one corner of the ring, we have the helpless Clippers at home that can't figure their shit out. Brand new stadium, all that money, state of the art, multi-billion-dollar complex. All they need is a team that can find a win. On the other side of things, you got the Sixers. Man, Embiid, the fuck? Is he assaulting photographers and he's getting called lazy? And I mean, that's your superstar, Billy. You don't treat him like one, he's going to want to get the fuck out of there. Then what are you going to do? Sit on Maxey? You got 23% of the bets on the Sixers. And I said it that way because I don't have the percentage of bets on the Clippers. But I see 77% of the cash on the Clippers. However, when we got these big numbers with low totals, or I should say low sides, minus 110 moved to minus 122 for the money line. 74% of the bets, but only 64% of the cash. So when we look for some of that data, when we look for some of those numbers out there, when you see that little variance, that means that there's some bigger believers in the Sixers on the money line. Overall, well, they just caught their break, right? They just caught their win. They went from winless to picking up that dub. We were on them. I mean, they lost, but we covered. We were on it. We fired away on it. We got that cash. It was at Phoenix Suns. 118-116. They almost won the game outright. They're back in live dog spot again here tonight. Now, the thing is, obviously, the James Harden factor, right? His old boys, the revenge. I don't know if it's really revenge. That dude's just a fucking loser. He just wants to go anywhere else except for where he's at. He doesn't care. Just take me anywhere else but where I'm at. And that's a bad situation. That's a guy. That's like I said with the KD thing. I'm just not a big believer in these guys' leadership capabilities. And maybe James Harden doesn't want to be a leader. He'll be a leader at the strip club. But my goodness. Bounce back opportunity here. Where I said the implosion. How many times have I taken an L on the Clippers at home? Trying to catch that win. But the Sixers, off of 2 straight losses, are in a fire back situation. 8-0 against the spread when they're out there means it's active. Now they're going to be active again until they catch this win. So that's the caveat with this one here. But the Sixers, outright, I think it's a big opportunity for the outright as well. I think they kick the shit out of them. There's so many NBA plays tonight that I liked across this card. I had to try to simplify it. I wanted to try to find the live dogs that I thought were going to go out there and hunt. And speaking of, that kind of brings us to this last game that we've got on the NBA card for you guys. It is the Raptors and the Sacramento Kings. Now, settle down. I don't expect the Raptors to win this game outright. But I don't not expect that either. I tell you, I was conflicted because I wanted fire on the Lakers. The Lakers have another. Remember, we talked about the AD factor. When AD goes off, the Lakers cook that next game. Against the Grizzlies, I have a strong lean to there. I just couldn't officially pull the trigger on it. Not yet, anyways. But this Raptors spot opened up at 9.5. It's moved to 11.5. 74% of the bets and 77% of the cash on the Raptors. And the over's taken some gas. 234.5 has moved to 237.5 and 238.5. 81% of the bets and 82% of the cash are on the over in this game. And I was hating on him. I was calling it, everybody calls it LeBronto. When LeBron James rolls in and kicks ass and takes names in Toronto. But they covered 9.5 points. They followed it back up with the Sacramento Kings win. Big note there. Big Sacramento Kings win, 131-128. And then they go into Denver. Getting 11 points. They almost upset them, 121-119. The books don't know what numbers to put on this team. And part of it's probably the Olnick's out, Bruce Brown, Emmanuel Quickley, Scotty Barnes. I get it. Kevin Huerter's probable on the Sacramento Kings side of things. Devin Carter's still going to be out of this game. This is too many points. And I talk about the spot where I mentioned the 2 points almost beat the Sacramento Kings. This is one of those cookie cutter Sacramento King spots. When they're in a revenge position, they were on the road and lost. Now they're a home favorite. They're 2-12 in those spots. 2-12 against the spread of the Sacramento Kings. Too many points. Live dog. Also, I was looking at the total. I was coin flip me between the side and the total with this one because Toronto's in an 11-0 spot when they're on the road with rest against a team that they covered the spread against the last time they played and made more than 10 threes. Makes sense. When you're splashing threes from all over the place and you already covered against that team, things don't likely pivot and change that quickly. They don't just all of a sudden, they are who they are. They're not playing defense and they're letting up threes. But it's the margin of victory in that spot that's so important. 16.2 points a game for the over. I'm on the 11.5. I'm going to take that. That's just too many points. I'm going to take that one down to the head. But I wouldn't be mad at anybody that wanted to get in there on the over. I think that's another great look. It's a quality look out there. Curious what you guys think about that. Kelly V likes Boston first half full game. NJ Striker says, thanks. Kelly V's shouting out the wrench. Wrench has hit the like button. It's a big night for, I'll tell you what, it's a big night for Boston. And I think it's a big night for points in that Boston spot as well, or at least their team total, but nothing there. Kelly V says Golden State beat bums. Now favorite. Boston, no Brown, no problem. None of your business. Passing touchdown prop parlay. Here we go. Nice. I can see that. I think that's a great look, dude. I think that's a great look. That's a great look out there. There's my guy, Gerardo Hernandez. Got the Pacers -5, Warriors +7, Oilers, Ohio football for our guy, G. There's my dude, Dan. Likes a little Moritz Wagner over rebounds and points at 19.5. Shout out to Marty Riggs in the house. Terry B likes Pacers first half. Justin likes the Halliburton double-double. Don't forget, we talked about that triple-double for Sabonis. Let's go. Let's see what you guys got. Nunez there, rocking, talking about the injury gnome creeping. Joseph Alvarado. That's going to do it, you guys. Shout out to everybody that hung out here tonight. It's the night to get right. Let's bash these bookies over the head together. And then let's come back here and do it again tomorrow at 6 p.m. with Pregaming at Sports Money. In the meantime, you know you'll find the sweet, sweet sound of Ramon Scott in the morning. With the morning steam, his chat all-stars, you guys rock and roll out there. I see you contributing out. Make sure you hit the thumbs up button here. Make sure you hit it there. If you would be so kind and go into that comment section, the community tab, and fire off a bunch of thumbs up on that. That'll take you. You can get 10 thumbs up in like 2 seconds. Do us that favor. Help us out as we continue to grow. Shout out to the dudes. Redbeard with the gifted Sports Money membership. Old E gifting Sports Money memberships as well. So important that we've got these guys on our side as we continue to build this community. Very excited to get this money with you guys, and I hope it's a great night for everybody. There's my guy, Billy Bray. Billy Bray's in the house. You know who plays tonight? Christian Braun. He's dunking on your favorite player. Next. White men can jump. Shout out to Billy Briz in the house, man. Appreciate all you guys rocking. Thank you guys all for being here and catching this show. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button on the way out the door. If you haven't done so, make sure you get ready. We're going to drop First Strike tonight. The fellas are already sending plays back and forth. Excited to talk about that with the Apex Predators of the Octagon. And we'll be back here tomorrow. For all of Sports Money, on behalf of this crew, this network that we're building here, our community, thank you guys. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great night. Good luck.